Begin again. Welcome back to Two Cents. It's your host, Ludwig Permanente. It's the show where Ludwig Permanente talks about the things he wants to talk about. Uh, I know it's not that far off since I last made, the Two Cents Christmas special. But it's also ending. By ending, I mean the year. And might as well reflect on what had happened for the past 2 years or so. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do in this special, I guess. 2020 was a really weird year for me. I was just like recovering from the loss of my grandpa by like 2019, and it hit me quite a lot. But I was looking forward for 2020 since 2019 started off rather weird. Like, my grandpa died literally 1 week into the year. That was some bad juju, I tell you what. So yeah, I was looking forward to 2020, and then the thing happened. We all got locked into our houses and we all felt pretty much alone. And in my time of isolation, well, I'm not really isolated. I live with like my aunt, uncle, and like little brother, but still, it's quite isolated since the only person that can technically understand myself in the household was, well, me. And some friends that I've met in like I don't know the internet. They're very good company, I'd say. If you can recall, there was a series in this channel where I was playing with my friends in the MGZ, the Mega Gay Zone, and they're good folk. I tell you what. Sure, their antics can be quite strange at times, but we're all pretty much the same breed of strange, so yeah. But they were the people that kind of helped me through 2020. I kind of just liked listening to them talk and whatnot. Honestly, I sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget which year I joined it, since 2020 and 2021 were kind of like the same year to me. It didn't feel any different. 2020 was strangely isolationist, and 2021 boringly isolationist. In 2020, I understand, but in 2021, kind of was just feeling down all the time, you know? It sucked. I mean, it really sucked. This pandemic in particular hit me quite hard since I promised to my mom that I would improve my grades in high school, since I kind of fell off in like the tertiary years of primary school. And as luck would fucking have it, it decided, you know what, you're gonna get quarantined. I was doing perfectly fine in seventh grade, but I couldn't do jack in eighth and ninth. In fact, I don't know anything I've learned from eighth and ninth grade. I don't think I even listened. It's a miracle I'm in 10th grade now. Because, like, it's really, and I mean, it's really hard to focus when you kind of just have everything in your hands. I know it's also problems lots of people face. It's not unique to me. And I know people have been hit worse by the pandemic. Some people lost their loved ones, and I am very sorry for them. And I do mean at the bottom of my heart. And I'm just saying my side of the story because it's the only side I really experienced. So as much sympathy I want to give to these people, the only side of the story I know is mine. Therefore, it's the only one I'll tell. And anyway, 2020 was rough. 2021 even rougher because it probably was the worst pit of my life. I have not felt so empty, so hollow, so raw. It's so sad in 2021. I could never understand why, but it just felt melancholic. It's it was a horrible year, even worse so than 2020. And I don't know why. In 2021, things were looking up for everyone, but not for me. If anything, it kind of felt worse last year since kind of fell into this temporary episode of let's just call it big sad. I don't want to diagnose myself with depression since I'm not diagnosed by a doctor. I don't think I can afford to. But anyhow, I've got hit by a very big sad, and it continued up until like the early months of 2022. And now that I'm talking about it, 2022 was definitely, and I do mean definitely better than 2021 for me. I'm sure it is for everyone else too, since lockdown has been lifted. There's a lot more jobs going on, but then again, maybe not looking up, but it's getting there. And to me, that's all that matters. It looked up, and the hope and the light that you see up is enough to keep you going. I tell you, 2022 probably was a better year than 2021. I still feel like sad from time to time. In fact, early the early months of 2022, I felt like the days have been combining into one, as if Monday and Friday did not have a difference. They were just the same day to me. And it sometimes I still feel like that. Uh, I still feel numb every now and then, but I do know now that things have been looking up, and sure, there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, but my only advice to people, I don't know if it would work for them, but it did work for me, is that it's okay to be optimistic, but you also need to be realistic about your optimism. Just because one thing got better doesn't mean everything will get better suddenly. That's not how this thing works. One thing gets better, but another thing will gradually get better. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to remember, good things take time. Bad things happen all the time. It's common even, but good things take time. You just need like patience and sheer will to move on. Sure, you've been hit with every bad thing life could possibly throw your way. And your response to life? You give it a big middle finger and then you keep moving. Life will get better. Hear me on that. No matter how down you are, no matter how deep this pit of sadness is, no matter how emotionless you feel, it does get better. It will always get better. It just takes a long ass time. And if you're not that patient, then yeah, I can understand your griefs and your sorrows, but you have to trust me on this one. Things get better over time. Oh yeah, this was supposed to be a recap of 2022. Uh my final reflections on this year, I guess. I mean, I've been reflecting on like 2020, 2021, and then have my personal philosophy, but I suppose I can, actually get into the topic of uh, ending 2022 and looking forward to 2023. 2022 was, as I said, an okay year. Not the best, could be better, but it's good enough. It's certainly better than 2021, so there's that. And I'm hoping 2023 would be better. Not just will, but should be better. Maybe it's a bit too out there in terms of optimism. You might sound deranged by thinking 2023 would get, I don't know, better. I mean, as in like way better. Like it's back to like prime years of S Day 2011 where we were spamming troll faces and I was in first grade. Actually, I don't think. Anyway, I'm hoping 2023 is going to be a better year. Hopefully, my streak of happy go lucky, willy nilly, silly Billy, whatever you want to call it, continues on to the next year. I really hope everyone had a good 2022. Not the best. I'm sure people didn't have the best time of their lives this decade, but I'm hoping that it was better than 2020 and 2021. Sure, it's a bit shoving it down your throat that your year should be like just as good, if not better than mine. But I sincerely hope that at the very least, your years were merry and your days cheery. I'm hoping 2023 would provide more opportunities, I guess, and more chances for optimism. The world would really, and I mean, would really have like a, it really needs happiness. And that's all I wanted to say. This is Ludwig Perpenente and the end of the 2 cents episode. And remember, to begin again is to let go. Ciao.